Where's your above average section?
Plus size guys are viewed in society as second class. There's this misconception that plus size is not sexy. And I think that it's more people stepping out of the box and showing their sex appeal.
I am 6'6". I weigh about 275 pounds. I'm a 50 long jacket. So I'm like 100 pounds and 10 inches bigger than the average model. I'm also like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches taller.
I'm 6'4", I'm probably about 50 waist. I'm a 19.5 neck. I'm like a 14, 15 shoe. I'm just a giant.
6'3", extra large t-shirt, 44 to 32 pants. Well, I've always been kind of a heavier guy. I love to eat. It is what it is. I'm big.
I hit 6'6" when I was about 13, 14 years old. You definitely stand out to a point that's almost freakish to them, especially if you're like me and you are the big guy, but you don't play football or basketball. Now you're like real freakish. I cried at my freshman football tryouts, so that's why I don't play football.
I was a quintessential fat kid. I was a fat kid. I was definitely bullied as a kid for being a bigger guy. Big has always been the prefix to my name. Big this or big that. I'm used to it.
I had a lot of body dysmorphia just from like being teased and like from feeling like I was outside of what was normal. I was a real sensitive kid. If somebody was like, hey, big guy, I'd be like, why does it gotta be big? Like, it would just like hit me to my core. I'd be like, why is that the first thing that anybody ever notices about me?
There were this really mean girl in school. I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade. I looked just real round and I always was smiling. So like I had really big cheeks. She used to call me cheeseburger all the time. And it kind of got to me because I was like, I'm not a cheeseburger, maybe a double cheeseburger. If I'm gonna be a cheeseburger, I'm gonna be the best cheeseburger.
Shopping is terrifying to a young, chubby kid.
A lot of the fashion that I see in big and tall is really boxy.
We get like the dregs of fashion. They make all this super awesome stuff for other people, and then they're like, and you guys can have this. And we're supposed to be grateful for what they give us. But meanwhile, every big and tall guy in the world is dressed like a giant 3-year-old.
The Brandon Cock collection started out of my own frustrations with the lack of options in the market. The best way to speak to any industry, to any society, is just to show them this is what we want, this is who we are, and this is where we're trying to go. So either you get on board or we're gonna do it ourselves.
I'm really happy to be working with Winston Box. We're trying to create clothing that let people be able to express themselves, wear bold patterns.
As long as the proportions work for your body, you can wear whatever you want. You can wear every color. Black is not the most limiting thing. Before I got into men's plus size fashion, I actually did women's plus size fashion for 10 years. So I worked with Ashley Graham. I worked with Tess Holiday.
Ashley Graham, like, come on, she's Ashley Graham. I love Ashley Graham. I love what she's doing. Finally, we got some type of representation there.
The men's industry is completely walking in the shadow of the women's plus size industry. They're the pioneers of this.
That was the beginning of a movement. I don't want you to see my size first. See me first. See me for the person that I am.
One of the big differences, I think, between men and women is women kind of bound together and said, this is something we want, this is something we demand. Men still won't say that. Even now, they still will not say, they pretend that, oh, I don't have to, it doesn't matter, fashion's not a guy thing.
I think the idea that men shouldn't care about how they look or about fashion at all is stupid. Like, why shouldn't we?
You giving somebody a compliment. Oh, I like your shoes, dude. I like those. That's not tarnishing your masculinity. Masculinity, I feel like you holding yourself as a man. You're holding yourself as someone who's respectable, conscious, and just being an overall good person.
I do feel comfortable in my body now, but it took a very long time.
It's more than just, loving the clothes that you put on, but just genuinely loving yourself.
From the time you're born to the time you die, you're truly the only person that loves yourself that entire time. We could always want to make improvements, but I have to love myself right here where it is that I am.
Just go for it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do something. Just being completely comfortable with yourself is the best thing I can tell anybody.